Hi everyone, it's Paul here. So I wanted to talk to you about artificial intelligence. As a teacher, you can understand that I've had a lot of experience dealing with artificial intelligence. Now, we're not meant to admit that we use it as well, so I won't. But you probably want to know how you can use it more effectively so you save time and still learn the information and put it inside your brain so that you're not needing to copy with the tool. Because if you have dependence on the tool, that means you're addicted to the tool and you can't escape the tool. So let's find a way to use it well so that we don't need to use it all the time and we're more effective in the way that we function. So first and foremost, you might want to recognize that you have to acknowledge AI assistance correctly. Usually when you cite a work, you cite that the work was, X author and what date, and you say those details. That means that you cited that work, you use that work to strengthen your essay or your piece that you're writing. For AI, it gets a little more complicated because it's a large language model that's doing it. Are we quoting the company? What aspect of AI are we quoting? Are we quoting the research they did? Because AI can research something for you and get you a bunch of sources, sometimes terrible sources. But you have to know what to cite for. So check with your academic institution and find out what the correct ones are to cite and why we cite them. The main thing is you want to focus on the understanding. And you might want to check if the information is accurate because there was that one time that I asked an AI for some Shakespeare quotes, which was hilarious because I've read I've basically had a Shakespeare compendium, so essentially all of his plays, and I've read that thing multiple times. But knowing exactly which act and which scene is difficult. And so I asked for a certain few quotes. And AI advised me it couldn't give me the quotes because of copyright laws. The AI didn't know that copyright laws end. So if you were writing something 500 years ago, your work won't be in copyright 500 years in the future. I had to teach AI that. And now it understands when I let the model remember. So you have to be aware that it does make mistakes and don't trust everything that's AI generated. You want to really critically evaluate everything that you do see in case it did make an error, because it will make errors. And I must say, the one thing that I really wish a lot of students whose work I see understood simply was that their work can feel generic if they rely on it too much. So essentially, their own voice doesn't come out. And if your voice doesn't come out in something you write creatively, it's going to suck. If someone reading your work or watching your movie doesn't feel anything when they see it, they are not going to care. It's the equivalent of making a film for political clout or trying to fit a certain demographic or do a thing, rather than considering, well, what are we saying in this film? What are we saying in this book? What is this essay trying to teach people? What is this report teaching my manager, attempting to improve, about this particular issue that I'm working on? You've got to think about those things. So use your own voice. Be a little creative in how you make your work and add a personal touch, because no matter how good the AI model gets, it's not going to have a personal voice, and your personal voice is the big voice you want people to hear. And the other thing that you might want to do is give it specific prompts. Because if you don't give it specific prompts, you're going to get pretty average results, which means average marks, which means your manager is not impressed. Because the information is going to look at, okay, here's 100 people. Okay, let's find the one detail and then what's going to fit. So you can't use it to write, your poetic, poem for your loved one, because or that lovely person that you're interested in, because it's gonna write terribly, and then when you complain to the AI that was not a good poem, and it didn't impress your significant other, then it's going to say it's a large language model, and it can just give general advice based on what everyone says. And then you'll need to work hard on getting them back, or the other alternative. So, the fifth thing that I would probably say as well, it's other than trying to remain focused, because the thing is, it doesn't, you don't want irrelevant content to come up. It's terrible. I wish a lot of my students actually thought about the AI policy of their institution, because if you copy in work from the AI and you go, all right, well, we've got a 20% policy to, for AI content, which is fine for some institutions. You might then go into another course or another institution, and then they have a 0% policy. And at that stage, you then go, oh crap, I don't know what to do. You need to have specific models and ways to approach something. So you have to go, what are the guidelines, and then understand it yourself. Make sure that you're across it, so that you understand it and you can give back to the school and say, well, I understand why I'm using it, and then you've got specific tools that you use, specific ways of using AI. So look, I have a few prompts that I like to give it, and I've got a PDF that you can get that tells you what sort of prompts to use as a good starter. So know what to say and what's going to help teach your AI to be more effective for you, so that you get effective usage. You get the marks, you get the job, you get the things that you want, and she doesn't leave you. They don't leave you. Anyway, hopefully this was interesting / useful, and I'll see you guys soon.